Imagine a hidden chamber beneath the sands of Egypt, a tomb untouched for over 3,000 years, sealed in silence, guarding the secrets of a forgotten king. When explorers finally opened it, they found unimaginable treasures and unleashed whispers of a deadly curse. This is the story of Tutankhamun's tomb, the greatest archaeological discovery of the 20th century. The Egyptian desert stretches endlessly, golden sands shimmering under the burning sun. To outsiders, it looks empty, but beneath the surface lie the tombs of kings, hidden chambers carved into stone, meant to last for eternity. The pharaohs of Egypt were not only rulers, they were gods in human form. Their monuments, temples, and tombs were designed to secure their passage to the afterlife. Statues, golden masks, sacred papyrus scrolls, all placed with divine purpose. Yet many tombs were looted, their treasures stolen, their secrets destroyed. Still, some tombs remained hidden, untouched by time.
Among the forgotten rulers was a boy king, Tutankhamun. His reign was short, his death surrounded in mystery. For centuries, his name almost vanished from history. But whispers persisted that somewhere in the Valley of the Kings, his tomb still waited, untouched and cursed.
In the early 1900s, Egypt was the center of fascination for archaeologists and treasure hunters from around the world. Yet most believed the Valley of the Kings had already given up all its secrets. But one man disagreed: Howard Carter, a determined British archaeologist. He was convinced that somewhere beneath the sand lay a hidden tomb, the final resting place of a forgotten king. Carter's vision was bold, but dreams required money. In 1907, he found his answer in Lord Carnarvon, a wealthy English nobleman fascinated by Egyptology. Carnarvon agreed to fund Carter's expedition, giving him men, tools, and the resources to search deeper into the Valley of the Kings. Yet years passed, and nothing was found. Whispers grew that the money was wasted, that Carter was chasing shadows in the sand. For 5 long years, Carter's team dug tirelessly. Each season ended in disappointment, just rubble, empty chambers, and broken pottery. Lord Carnarvon's patience wore thin, and many urged him to stop funding the project, but Carter refused to give up. With every failure, he grew more certain. Tutankhamun's tomb was still waiting, and he was closer than ever. By 1922, Lord Carnarvon had nearly lost hope. After years of disappointment, he told Carter this would be the last season of digging. One final chance, or the expedition would end forever. With pressure mounting, Carter returned to the Valley of the Kings in November. His men began to clear rubble near the tomb of Ramses VI, where Carter believed something still lay hidden. And then they struck something unusual, a step carved into the bedrock. Excitement surged through the team as more steps were revealed, descending into the earth. At the bottom lay a doorway, plastered and sealed with strange markings. Carter's hands trembled as he brushed away centuries of dust. The royal seal of the necropolis, intact. For the first time in over 3,000 years, a forgotten tomb had been found. Could this be the boy king he had been searching for? Carter sent an urgent telegram to Lord Carnarvon in England. Within days, Carnarvon and his daughter Evelyn arrived in Egypt. Together they stood before the sealed door, hearts racing. They knew this moment would make history, or destroy their reputations forever. By candlelight, Carter made a small hole in the plaster. He placed a candle inside and peered through the gap. Lord Carnarvon whispered, "Can you see anything?" Carter's voice shook as he replied, "Yes, wonderful things." Behind the door lay treasures beyond imagination. Gilded couches shaped like animals, statues glistening with gold, chariots and sealed boxes stacked to the ceiling. For 3,000 years they had waited in darkness, and now their secrets had returned to the light. On November 26, 1922, Howard Carter prepared to enter fully. The doorway they had breached led not to the burial chamber, but to an antechamber, already overflowing with unimaginable treasures. Yet deeper inside, another sealed wall remained, the final barrier. By torchlight, Carter and his men began carefully breaking through the second plastered seal, each strike echoing through the silent tomb. What lay beyond could confirm the greatest archaeological discovery of all time, or reveal nothing but disappointment.
The antechamber was chaos frozen in gold. Gilded couches in the shape of strange beasts, dismantled chariots, statues of the gods, and thousands of objects stacked in dangerous disorder, as though a king's treasure had been hurriedly packed away. Carter realized immediately, this tomb had not been plundered by thieves. It was untouched. Every artifact whispered of ancient rituals, forgotten power, and the short life of a boy who had once ruled Egypt.
But there was more. Beyond the clutter of the antechamber, Carter's team found another sealed doorway, this one decorated with sacred images of Anubis, guardian of the dead. Behind it, the burial chamber itself. Carter and Carnarvon exchanged tense glances. They were standing on the edge of history. And yet, they hesitated. Breaking this seal would mean disturbing a king's eternal rest, something no living person had done in over 3 millennia. Finally, in February 1923, they opened the burial chamber. As dust swirled in the stale air, their torches illuminated something beyond imagination. A massive shrine of gilded wood, covered in protective images, filling nearly the entire room. Layer upon layer of shrines nested within, like secrets wrapped in gold. Somewhere inside lay the body of Tutankhamun, the boy king untouched for thousands of years. The world would never be the same again. When news of the discovery reached the world, headlines exploded. From London to New York, from Paris to Tokyo, newspapers shouted of the greatest discovery of the century. For the first time, ordinary people could imagine the treasures of ancient Egypt, not in dusty museums, but as though they had been locked away just yesterday. The photographs of golden statues and gilded shrines dazzled a world still recovering from the First World War. People longed for wonder, and Tutankhamun had given it to them. But wonder quickly gave way to whispers of dread. Only months after the chamber was opened, Lord Carnarvon, who had financed the expedition, suddenly fell ill. A mosquito bite became infected. Within days, he was dead. Newspapers around the world seized on the coincidence. Could this be the curse of the pharaohs that ancient priests had warned of? Some reported that all the lights in Cairo flickered and went out the moment Carnarvon died. Others claimed his dog, back in England, howled and dropped dead at the exact same hour. Rumors spread faster than facts. Soon, people were saying the tomb's entrance bore an inscription: "Death shall come swiftly to those who disturb the king's rest." In truth, no such warning existed, but it didn't matter. Every illness, every accident among those connected to the excavation was added to the legend. To the public, Tutankhamun was no longer just a forgotten boy pharaoh. He was a ghost king striking back from beyond the grave. Of course, many scientists rejected the idea of a curse. They argued that Carnarvon's death was bad luck, nothing more. Still, the stories refused to die. Every flicker of bad fortune, every unexplained sound from the tomb was written into the legend. The world was divided. Was this discovery a triumph of archaeology or proof that some mysteries should remain undisturbed? And as the treasures of Tutankhamun began their journey out of the Valley of the Kings, the legend of the curse would only grow stronger. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb was more than just treasure. It was a revolution. Before 1922, archaeology in Egypt was often careless, with priceless artifacts lost or stolen. But Howard Carter's meticulous methods, photographing, cataloging, and preserving every single object, set a new standard. It wasn't about treasure hunting anymore. It was about science. Egyptology, as a field, was reborn. Soon, Tutankhamun wasn't just an ancient king, he was a global celebrity. Exhibitions of his treasures drew millions. People lined up for hours just to glimpse the golden mask. Newspapers called it Tut fever. Even fashion designers copied Egyptian styles. Scarab jewelry, winged eyeliner, and lotus patterns appeared everywhere from Paris runways to Hollywood films. The boy king had become the world's most famous face from the afterlife. And at the heart of it all stood one image: Tutankhamun's golden mask. Crafted of pure gold and inlaid with lapis lazuli, it was not just a funerary object. It was art, identity, immortality. For Egyptians, it symbolized eternal life. For the modern world, it became the very symbol of ancient Egypt itself. Even those who knew nothing of pharaohs could recognize the mask. It was the face of mystery, beauty, and the timeless power of a civilization that refused to be forgotten.
Today, more than a century after its discovery, Tutankhamun's tomb still captivates the world. It reminds us of the fragility of human life and the endurance of culture. The boy king ruled for only 9 short years, yet his afterlife has lasted for thousands. His story bridges ancient magic and modern science, reminding us that beneath the sands of time, history is never truly silent. It only waits for those bold enough to listen.